We always like to start off with our crazy celebrity real estate story. And pretty much until last week, there was a home that we featured about a year ago that was for sale in South Florida. And it currently had been the largest asking price for the most expensive single-family home in the United States. That was $159 million. But that designation has been replaced. There was a new home to hit the market for $200 million, and that was the Playboy mansion went up for sale. What's interesting about this is I read through the article and stuff.
With or without bunnies?
And that is a great question, McKay.
I mean, not that I'm interested, because like I said, I've seen better, I'm married better. But most guys would want to know.
Smart man. So not probably who you thought was going to stay, but who is going to, is actually it's advertised that the home is being sold as a life estate for Hugh Hefner. So what that means is when you sell a property, title transfers to the new owner, but the existing person granted the life estate, in this case Hugh Hefner, gets to stay in the property until they die. And so there's different arrangements and ways that can be set up. Generally, the person with the life estate still is responsible for maintenance and taxes, but the home is kind of pre-sold, a way to get their money ahead of time up front. And you got to look at that price tag and say, okay, this is kind of an iconic property that somebody's going to be coming in and looking at. Crazy that when you go through the numbers, it's almost 20,000 square feet, and it's on 5 acres, which is prime. It was actually purchased in 1971 for $1 million.
Wow.
And so a little bit of an increase.
200 million now?
200, yeah, from $1 million to an asking price of $200 million. And it's crazy because it sits on 5 acres. And when they look at 5 acres in that part of town, potentially development potential, it'll be interesting to see what the final number comes in at, and then who ends up purchasing
who buys it?
A property like that. So
I feel bad for his son, though. He's probably thinking, geez, Dad had a great life.
I was going to inherit the mansion.
I'm going to follow in his footsteps.
And he's thinking, nope, I'm going to get the cash now. Why that market's a little bit hotter, and maybe spend it or do something else with it. So it's always interesting, and you don't see life estates too often. I've only seen it twice. I've been involved with that in the Tri-Cities over the last 15 years, but they do occasionally come up there, and sometimes developers will do this sometimes when they're buying, say, a farm property, and the original farmer's retired, lives in one corner of the property, but wants to enjoy his retirement, will sell off the rest of the land. A lot of times they will grant and let them have a life estate to remain in their family home, and then that allows them to also develop a portion of the land while they're at it. So sometimes it really works out to be the best of both worlds. So but it is a very specific situation when you use something like that.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. I wonder if Hugh has got some health issues or something, and he wants to just get it sold and be in control of who it goes to.
The other thing, too, is I'm not too sure about, there's been other news stories about the viability of that company and their assets and continuing on. So there might be some payments coming up. So there you go. The new most expensive single-family residence in the United States right now. As always, you can contact myself, Lance Kenmore, anytime direct on my cell phone at 396-0577, or visit us on the web at kenmoreteam.com. Once again, I always like to thank John for hosting and everybody here at the station for working to make this happen.